Aargau Topsport und Tele1 präsentieren die 22. Ausgabe vom Baden Masters vom 19. bis am 21. August. Zum Saisonauftakt der Spitzengurler messen sich die besten Schweizer Gurler mit den amtierenden Olympiasieger und Weltmeister aus Schweden sowie mit den absoluten Top-Teams aus Kanada und den USA. Nervenkitzel, der Kampf um jeden Millimeter, grosse Emotionen. Bring noch, Vigo! Curling Weltklasse direkt vor der Haustür und am Freitag, 19. August auf Tele1. Das Baden Masters wird präsentiert von Swisslos Sport von Aargau, V-Zug, dem Schweizer Haushaltgerätehersteller und der Walde Immobilien AG, die Mensch und Immobilien zusammenbringen.
Okay. Good afternoon, Curling World. You join us back at the Baden Masters 2022 for the teams out on the ice there. This is their final round-robin match. This is the fourth game for these teams. A couple of teams already finished their round-robin. Fourth game for these teams, and we are really now at the business end of this competition. Some teams already qualified for quarter-finals later this evening. One of those is the ever-reliable Italian team in front of us. We'll say hello to the teams in just a minute. And several teams still in the running. The magic number is 3 wins. That typically qualifies you for quarterfinals, and normally a couple of the teams on 2 wins who have a good draw shot challenge, they will probably qualify as well. But we have 2 rounds still to go. This is the final round for these 2 groups in the round robin. We have 1 more round later this afternoon for the other 2 groups. And then we have quarter-finals this evening, so loads of curling still to come. My name is Lorna Rettig. I realise I have not been introducing myself. Just assuming I'm so famous that everybody knows, but my apologies. And we were going to watch today our featured game. I've been bigging it up all weekend, haven't I? It is our Canadian visitors, Team Colton Flasch, and they are playing really a standing feature in the back end of competitions here in Europe. It is the world bronze medalists, which further contains an Olympic gold medalist. It's Team Retornaz of Italy. The Italians, they're on 3 wins out of 3 already. Colton Flasch, up and down path, they've got 1 win and 2 losses, so if they want to give themselves a chance at quarter-final, they need to win this game, although I have the magical draw shot challenge in front of me, and the Canadians almost at the bottom of it. So I think their competition likely finished after this game, even if they win it. But I'm sure they will want to. They've travelled a long way to come and play with us. We're delighted to welcome 2 teams from North America. We have Team Colton Flasch. This is our first time looking at them in the live stream. And we also have Team Dropkin from the US. And Dropkin's team, they have already qualified for quarterfinals. They're on 3 wins out of 4. They'll be delighted. And we shall be seeing more of them. So let's say hello to the teams. For our European viewers, it's fun to have a Canadian team, but let's first say hello to the very familiar face of the Italians. 4th and skip is Joel Retornaz. 3rd, Amos Mozana. 2nd, Sebastiano Armand. And here we do have a lineup change. Lead player, and that's Mattia on the far left of that photo as we're looking at it. Mattia Giovanella. Simone, 2nd from the left there. He is having a bit of a pause. I think he's focusing on mixed doubles, the team were telling me, and coached by a bit of a legend himself, Claudio Pescia. And on the right of our screen, we are welcoming Team Flasch for the first time. Here in Baden, fourth and skip, although we see a bit of a lineup change out there, is Colton Flasch. Third, Caitlin Schnider. Second, Kevin Marsh. And lead, brother Daniel Marsh. And I'm going to try really hard not to make any silly jokes about flashing a shot or something. The Italians won 3 out of 3 so far. They're already qualified, but well worth trying to win 4 out of 4. Sit top of the table. Try to give yourself potentially an easier quarter final.
Let's show control. If it hangs, it will make the double.
It is
control.
The Italians
if it hangs, will make the double.
Who have last stone in this first end.
Just trying to just off
and Colton Flasch holding the brush now. I shall try and work out what's going on. Maybe they're just trying a sort of different lineup. Maybe they realise that, yeah, the quarterfinals are beyond them for this competition. So maybe just trying a slightly different constellation and get a bit of practice with a different lineup, making good use of their time.
Whoa! Curl! 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 Whoa, clean!
And as I said, this is the last round-robin game for all of these teams. So let's see who else is out there. On sheet 1, we have Olympic silver medalists, Bruce Mouat's team from Scotland, and they are up against Team Ramsfjell from Norway. And how are they doing? Team Mouat, surprisingly, having a tough time of it. Nobody very intimidated by Olympic medals here in Baden by the look of it. It's almost like the teams were lining up to give them a good bashing. So Bruce Mouat's team on 1 win and 2 losses. So if they want to give themselves a chance at quarter final, they need a good performance here. And I'm looking at the draw shot challenge. Mouat's team need to at least win this game. And they're currently in 11th place for draw shot challenge, but several of the teams ahead of them will already qualify. So they need good performance here, and then they shall need to cross their fingers a bit and see how that goes for them. Team Ramsfjell, same situation. They're on 1 win and 2 losses. So exactly the same objective for both teams out there. Whoever wins this game will have a chance at playing in quarterfinals. Whoever loses this game, their competition is finished. On sheet 3, we have the new Swiss lineup, skipped by Yannick Schwaller. And they are playing young Swiss team Iseli. And they were one of the teams who inflicted a loss on Bruce Mouat's team, but lost a couple of games after that. So they're also on 1 win and 2 losses. And Schwaller, they are on 2 wins and 1 loss. So a win here will comfortably bring Schwaller into the quarterfinals. And Team Iseli, they're in 9th position at the moment for draw shot challenge, so tough road for them to qualify, but the first thing they would need to do is get past Yannick Schwaller's new team. And finally on sheet 4, we have Team Kyle Waddell from Scotland, and they are playing the most popular man in curling, Yves Stocker. And Kyle Waddell's team still looking for that first win. There's always a couple of teams in a really strong field like this where they give everybody problems. It's not like they're having terrible games at all, but just not quite maybe match fit at the moment. The Scottish team's not been able to travel the past couple of years. So Kyle Waddell's team would love to seal their visit with a nice win here, but Yves Stocker's team, yeah, they've had surprising weekend as well. They lost their first game to our bright young things from Norway. We'll come back to them. So the big guy on 1 win and 2 losses. So Yves Stocker's team really needing to win this, but then they're in 8th position in draw shot challenge. So they will be in quite a handy position to grab one of those last 2 places. So pretty conservative start in the first end, as we quite often see. First throw of the game for Retornaz.
Clean, clean.
Nice and tidy.
Same way.
The Italians won't mind at all blanking this first end. We've seen that a couple of times. You can keep up with the competition on the website as well. That's got all the scores. I don't think it has the draw shot challenge yet though. That's secret information known only to us. But you can look at worldcurlingtour.org and that has the information for this competition as well as the upcoming competitions. The Baden Masters always kicking off the season here in Europe. No trouble for the Canadians. Simple first end, hit for hit. And I think we'll see Retornaz throw a bit more weight at this one, just to make sure that his own stone spins out. I think the Italians would rather have a blank end than score 1 right here. You can see it's Mattia Giovanella. Straight replacement for Simona Gonin in the lineup this weekend, and no trouble for Retornaz. Big heavyweight, make sure he also rolls out. Blank end there. So very conservative stuff after 1 end in our featured game. Team Flasch from Canada against Team Retornaz from Italy. The score is still 0-0. If you're just joining us, you missed an uncharacteristically fast end here at the Baden Masters. We are now in end 2 of our featured game. We are watching Team Colton Flasch from Canada against European stalwarts Retornaz from Italy. We are delighted to have our North American guests back. We used to have teams from Canada playing in this competition, but they haven't been travelling so much, the Canadian teams, in recent years, and I think it's costing them. I think the Canadians are just getting too used to playing in Canada, and they're not really dominating in Worlds or Olympics and so on, not so much anymore. So I say, good for you, Colton Flasch. Thank you for supporting this competition, and I hope that really pays dividends for them when they go back to Canada. They've got that experience of going to European ice, playing European teams. Maybe that adds some extra firepower for that team. So delighted to see our North American friends here. We shall see more of Corey Dropkin's team from the US, a battling performance for them. They will be in the quarterfinals.
Yeah. That's in the second half. I would agree.
And my favourite Italian team already qualified for quarterfinals, 3 out of 3 so far. If you're joining us in the chat, you are very welcome. If you want to say hi, if you want to share which team you're cheering for.
Good. We're there. We're there. We're in the house.
We'd love to hear from you.
Maybe a 3.
Or if you have any questions or anything like that. We are still working on the technical surprise. I know we've set an expectation now, so we're hoping to have something a little bit fun for those of us here in the virtual club in the chat. We're hoping to have that ready for the quarter-final this evening.
I don't know what you've been throwing, but that seems a lot less than you threw this way.
We have superfan Megan is already in the chat, and she asks if our team's invited or can any team sign up for this event. So in principle, anyone, Megan. I think you have to be registered for World Curling Tour, but that's simply a registration. I don't think there's any criteria exactly. But then it is a, how to say this? Sometimes there can be a waiting list. So if you already have 20 teams, then sometimes there can be a waiting list because the roster fills up quickly. But pretty much the invitation goes out to all teams in the WCT structure, and then it's pretty much first come first served, although there is a certain discretion. Yeah, if you entered your club team, then I think the organisers might put you on the waiting list.
Yeah, hard.
Superfan Michaela also in the chat. Michaela knows I'm a big fan of Team Retornaz. I love to watch them. And looks like we have one of our Japanese friends in the chat as well. I know Zanda, who also does a lot of the commentary. He's very good at learning all the other languages, and I think he even knows a little bit of Japanese. He was telling me that he tries to learn even just the numbers in the other languages so that he can try to pick up what Japanese team or Korean team, if they're talking about a 10-second stone, or if they're using zones, numbered zones, and I was very impressed with this. I hope our Japanese colleagues enjoy watching curling from Europe as well. And we have Clock Basher, who is in Scotland. Quite a frequent flyer, regular visitor here at the virtual club as well. If you want to say hi in the chat, don't be shy, everybody's very nice.
Easy control is probably the right way. You can tick the one.
I think it's probably early morning in Canada, so maybe some Canadian fans will be able to tune in while they're having their breakfast. We had a blank end first end in our featured game here at Baden, and looking fairly conservative here in this second end. But this is exactly what this Italian team do. They just, I don't want to say they bore you into winning. It's not like that at all, but they just take their time. They don't get in a fuss. They don't panic. They just wait until they have an opportunity, and then they take it. Megan says how nice it is that there's lots of us all around the world watching. I agree, Megan. If you want to check in where you're watching from, that's always fun. Janie's watching from Winnipeg. I'm sure she'll be cheering for the Canadian team. Curling Hoot is up early in Michigan. It's 20 past 8 in the morning. That's professional. And a typically lovely shot from Sebastiano Arman. It was Sebastiano who played with teammate Stefania Constantini. She is also the Olympic champion. She and Amos Mazana, they are the Olympic champions in mixed doubles, but I need to check with him again. There was some kind of crazy thing that happened that Amos he tripped over or something when he was walking his dog, so he had a ankle injury and couldn't play in the World Championships. So it was Sebastiano who played with Stefania. And yeah, the Italians really being fine ambassadors for winter sports in Italy. Of course, it's their turn next. Next Olympics is in Milan Cortina.
Okay, just wait. Just wait. It's always Dan's. No, just don't touch it if it's in. Shit. Okay. 15-7.
And Rick Pym's in the chat. Welcome, Rick. It's not a stupid question. Who's commentating? My name is Lorna Rettig. I'm from the 1980s, so I don't play so much anymore, but I played in Scotland when I was junior. I moved to England as an adult, and I now live in Switzerland. It's quite complicated.
Yeah. I never needed to curl either.
Giochi 8.
We over-curled.
Tre quarti interna.
More aggressive from the Canadians. That's nice to see. They've got a nice yellow stone real close to the centre there, and putting a guard up instead of just clearing everything out, forcing the Italians to think a bit more. And Italy just cleanly removing that front ring guard. And I wonder, will we see Canada doing the same? This is good stuff. So it looks like Colton Flasch holding the broom again. Maybe he was finishing his lunch or something in the first end. Welcome Robert in the chat. He's watching from Laval in Quebec. Another Canadian fan. Great to see Canadian fans getting up early for the team.
We're gonna have to curl. No. It will have to curl.
The stone's got a bit to curl, but we've seen the stones really catch a curl towards the end on this ice. We've got Jamie over from Canada again, making the ice for at least the third year. And we've seen the ice all weekend, really nice and speedy. It's been 14.5 seconds hog to hog. It's been roughly T-weight, so nice and speedy. And very nice and curly as well. I think the players really enjoying the ice out there. So controlled weight from the big guy. And Mattia sweeping it all the way for curl. I know he's got it. All that mixed doubles practice, eh? He's not afraid of having stones out front, stones in the centre. You're up against an Olympic champion there, Canada. So Joe Retornaz, his team, calling Canada's bluff a little bit, saying, okay, we've got the Olympic champion at mixed doubles here. We're not afraid to play towards the centre. And it is Italy who have last stone in the second end.
Pretty straight here.
Clock tells us that Stefania Constantini, the other half of the Olympic Championship team, the gold medal winners from Italy, she's doing well in the Euro Super Series in Stirling. That's good to hear. Yeah, the Italian ladies, they've got some younger folks up and coming now. Joe Retornaz and this team, they've been around for a while now. And the ladies definitely starting to catch up again. First throw for Colton Flasch in the second end. Going for the run back by the look of it. Sweeping for a bit of curl. Have they got enough? They do. You can see, yeah, he would have liked it to curl just a little bit more, because Joel can see at least half of that stone, I would say. And I think we'll see similar kind of shot that we just saw from Amos. Just that controlled weight. And then I fancy he wants to roll all the way over to the side. Keep the Canadians away from the centre. Try not to let the Canadians get a hit and roll in behind that nice guard out front. And as I said, Italy very patient. They never panic. And they will simply wait until they get their chance. So they won't even mind blanking the second end. If there's not a chance at 2, we may see them blanking again. They're quite happy to play that really tight sort of game. And again, we do see that nice controlled weight. Land of the Giants, sweeping it there. And exactly that. Trying to keep that red as far away from the centre as possible.
I mean, if we throw firm, we can kind of take there.
You think it'll curl or be straight?
Straight.
Same way as you? It's good normal, I thought.
We have Burefuku in the chat, another Japanese friend, and they're rooting for Team Flasch to try to get to the next Olympics without changing any original members. Oh, is that a problem for Team Flasch? Are they often making changes?
Whoa! No.
Big weight from Canada. And you could see they were throwing a big weight because it was a long way to roll in behind that centre guard. But Italy's plan working nicely there. Italy rolled away from the centre to make it awkward for Canada. They've succeeded, and I expect we shall see the same kind of final stone from Joel as we saw in end 1. Bigger weight from Joel here. He doesn't want this red hanging around now. Just as we thought. A nice clean peel from Joel there. And gracefully strolling down the ice to say, yes, well, good job, guys. Another well-played end there.
Honestly, your weight was good, I thought, last time, so take a couple feet off that, and you're good.
Welcome back to end 3 of the Baden Masters 2022. We have had 2 blank ends so far. Pretty conservative start from both teams. Cagey stuff. It is Team Flasch who have the pressure on them, although, as we said, their draw shot challenge is not going to get them through, I don't think. So even if Team Flasch would win this game, that would put them on 2 wins, 2 losses. I don't think that will be enough. But I'm sure Team Flasch would still like to win. But no need to go all out aggressive just yet. That stone, though, looks like just slipping into the house. It's not protected by free guard zone. And Italy quite happy to just remove that stone. And if they're clever about it, they may get a nice roll on this red stone. Over to the wing, they do. Is that going to hang around? Not quite for Mattia. but they won't mind that. Italy will really wait until they have to go after the game. They've got last stone. They're the ones in control just now. They rarely get in a mess, this Italian team. They keep things very tidy.
Calves rock all day. Go ahead.
Good.
That's better. From Brother Marsh of the Daniel variety.
Yeah, that's like 35. The other one was 13.
Jennifer's in the chat and she's asking after the Schwaller game. We certainly can check in there, Jennifer. Let's see what the other rinks are doing. Let's start over on rink 1. They're just in their second end. Our featured game is going unusually quickly compared to other games in this competition. But over on sheet 1, it is Olympic silver medalists Bruce Mouat's team from Scotland. They are taking on Team Ramsfjell from Norway, and it was a 1 with last stone to Ramsfjell in the first end. On sheet 3 is the game Jennifer wants to see, and that's Yannick Schwaller playing Jan Iseli, both from Switzerland, and that was a 1 to Schwaller in the first end, also with last stone. They're also in their second end. And over on sheet 4, it is Team Kyle Waddell from Scotland, looking for their first win. And they're up against Eve Stocker's team. And that's 1-0 after 2 ends. It's 1-0 to Stocker. They're in their third end as well.
Yeah, I gave you just a little more ice.
We just swept it the whole way.
Yes, Michaela is quite right in the chat again. We have the live cam on sheet 2 all weekend, and we have the static cam on sheets 3 and 4. So if you're very clever, you can set up your iPad with one of the games, and you can have maybe the static cam on your laptop or something. You can also keep up with the scores. They're pretty much real time on the worldcurlingtour.org website. But we'll be checking in very frequently for the rest of the results. As I said, this is the last round robin for these teams out there, so all to play for. Joel's team already qualified for quarterfinals. Won 3 out of 3 so far. Colton Flasch from Canada, they can finish on 2 wins and 2 losses, but their draw shot challenge will not be good enough to bounce them up to the top of the pile of teams on 2 wins. So I'm sure they want to finish with a win, but win or lose, their competition will be finished. Bruce Mouat and Team Ramsfjell from Norway, they're both in the same situation. Both of those teams on 1 win and 2 losses. Both have fair to middling draw shot challenge. Whoever wins that game is just hanging on to quarter-final qualification. Whoever loses that game, their competition is finished.
Little bit. Line's good. Pretty good. Line's good.
Schwaller is on 2 wins and a loss.
Yep, hard line.
A win here will bump them into quarterfinals. Team Iseli
Okay, we need a little curl though.
on just the 1 win, but over Bruce Mouat, so not too shabby. Iseli also has a decent draw shot challenge in the middle of the pack. Kyle Waddell's team from Scotland, again, they would love to finish with a win. They've had a tough weekend against these big teams, but they cannot qualify. And Eve Stocker's team, they do have quite a decent draw shot challenge. So, love to see the big guy and their team pick up a win and sneak into the quarterfinals on a good draw shot challenge. Still Italy then with last stone in this third end.
Okay, Rama.
We're starting to see this tactic more and more, even in traditional rules, this kind of mixed doubles sort of an end where you've got just that first guard out front, and then it becomes not exactly a race, but it becomes a matter of who can control that front area.
Where'd you have the broom?
Like just inside edge.
Convenient for Italy that they have the Olympic champion at mixed doubles in the team. Welcome Dalto Pro to the chat. Looks like an Italian fan.
Line's good.
Room.
A little bit of room.
Be patient with it. Off. Line's brutal. How heavy?
No, line's close. Line's close. Let it die.
You gotta let it stop. It's gotta curl. It's gotta curl. It's gotta curl and down.
Both teams then just gently putting stones, delicate weights here in that front of house area, trying to set up some angles to then take a run at it and blast out the opposition stones. So yeah, if Italy can just drop a red stone just where Joel's tapping the ice there, that would be a really dangerous stone.
Lui può far questo. Sarebbe male tepparla un po' dietro questa, secondo me. Ah, in realtà cioè backline non è che più per il roll. No, infatti.
Amos coming up to just take a look himself.
Magari ce la fa farla saltare su e poi noi.
I think I like the first idea, Joel. Yeah.
Anche se dovessimo toccarlo un filo che si mette qua.
I think if you catch the outside of that yellow, I don't think that helps you too much.
Velocità 10, 9. Sì.
A couple folks asking about a bit of a lineup change for Team Flasch. Indeed, it is Caitlin Schnider who seems to be holding the brush. I'm not sure why. It could be, as we said, they can't really qualify after this game, even if they win it, so maybe they're just trying something a little bit different. The Canadian teams not quite getting on top of the draw shot challenge at these competitions.
Oh, no, clean. Stai lì. Oh, sì. Oh, clean. Clean. Go. Hard.
See Kevin Marsh there, just timing the stone, hog to hog, see what kind of time they're looking at. That's exactly what Joel was saying. And now you have two dangerous red stones ahead of tee. Nicely set up for Italy, but we've seen in a couple of games this weekend already, this kind of mixed doubles tactic, things can change awfully quickly. With one nice shot, suddenly the angles are completely mixed up. And that's what Canada will be looking to do now. I'm not sure if they're trying to drive this yellow back into the pack or whether they just want to clear it. We have one more round robin this afternoon. This is the final game for these teams, and then the other two groups they will play at, well, scheduled for 4 o'clock European. But if we've learned one thing this weekend, it's that these boys don't half like to chat.
Whoa! Yes! Whoa! Yep! Yep! Whoa!
That's nice from Canada. Removes one of those dangerous red stones, and you can see those yellows
Not bad.
on the left of the centre line. Now quite nicely lined up. That red right in the middle, starting to look very vulnerable. And that's exactly what Canada want to do. Looks like Canada are trying to force the issue a bit with Italy. They don't want to let Italy just dictate blank ends. So Canada piling some stones in to try to force Italy to think a bit more, to come up with some more precise shot making. And going well so far. Nice throwing there from Canada. I know we've got several Canadian fans in the chat getting up early for the team. I will make sure I tell the team that there were many Canadian fans having breakfast curling over in Canada. Yeah, Italy needs to be careful now. That was exactly what Canada was wanting. Mix things up a bit. Those yellows just at Amos's feet. Quite dangerous now for that red, so we either need to do something about those yellows, or we need to do something on the anti-clockwise handle. Think about putting a second red in. We watched Amos and Stefania having this kind of discussion plenty of times over in Beijing, and really enjoyed watching them win that gold medal. They were better than everyone else from start to finish. So 11-second stone called for. So going at a bit of pace, they want to move things around. But Amos made entirely of legs, and he can really throw a rocket when he needs to. So quite gentle for him. And again, pretty much what they were looking for. If we're being very critical, it may be rolled a quarter stone too far. This is why mixed doubles has become quite popular with viewers, though. We're not watching mixed doubles, viewers. This is regular fours curling, but this is why the mixed doubles is quite popular to watch. It's because you do typically have a lot of stones in play towards the centre, and things change really quickly with each stone. We have Alberto in the chat. Also Italian fan. Welcome, Alberto.
Just forward, yeah. Try to get as much inside as I can.
Close. Yep. Whoa. Yep.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa!
Close. Curl.
Curl! Curl!
Now Canada's turn to assess the danger,
Curl!
try to neutralise it. Oh, they've done that beautifully. Really nice stuff from them again. And you see these really delicate weights coming. Just moving things around a bit. They don't need these reds to disappear. They want these reds behind T, and they want their yellow shooters to stay in front of T, and that's what they're doing very nicely in this end. I think that kind of experience will also serve Flash's team well. I think the Canadians, for me, still maybe a little bit old-fashioned in the way they play the game. They love throwing it as hard as they can. But that doesn't really win you championships anymore. It's a handy weapon to have, but it's this more delicate game. That's what's needed, particularly in this 5-rock free guard zone. So everyone up examining the angles here. Good that we had a couple of blank ends first and banked a little bit of time. I don't see a blank end coming here, that's for sure. Again, in mixed doubles, blank ends, very rare. It is possible, it's not against the rules, but not only is it very rare because you just typically have a lot of stones in play, it's also a bit pointless, because even if you blank the end, last stone goes back to the opposition anyway. And that's been a rule in mixed doubles since the beginning. And that was again to encourage the aggressive play, encourage stones in play. So there's no point in aiming for a blank end in mixed doubles, but we do still see it here in the fours. We had a couple of blank ends already in this game, but not looking like a blank at the moment, I don't think. Everyone had a look at this shot then, made sure we're all aligned where the stone needs to hit, where the shooter needs to go. First stone for fourth thrower and skip Joe Retornaz. He wants a nice set-up stone here to give Italy a chance to score with his last stone, but ooh, Amos on the sweep to try to catch the curl here. And I think that's pretty much what they were talking about. That's cleared out those dangerous Canadian stones ahead of T-line. And that red is a little bit behind T, but it's also nicely buried in behind that guard out front. So pretty good result for Retornaz there, I think. I think that's pretty much what they were expecting.
Like you just got to move it to the 8, like here. I need to be back 12. So I think you need just back line, even back, just back.
Last stones coming then in this third end. No blank end coming this time. One more stone for Canada. And then last stone in the third end for Italy. And that's nice to hear from Purefuku in the chat. They say that Amos and Stefania are very popular in Japan, and Japanese fans were really happy to see them win the gold medal in Beijing. That's lovely. I will tell Amos that. I'm sure he'll be really happy to hear that they have fans in Japan as well. I know Japanese fans very serious about supporting curling. They're always very professional with their supporting. I'm sure they're very proud of Fujisawa and her team winning silver medals in the ladies competition.
Clean. Clean. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Final stone for Canada in this third end. Aiming to go around that front guard. Yes, no sweeping. Sounds promising. Sweeping for a bit of curl at the end. He has got it perfectly. Tricky shot for Colton Flasch, but he delivers. Really nice stuff.
Yeah. It's quick there.
And is there any shot for two here? I don't think there is. This aggressive play is higher risk, higher reward, but this is the risk. That sometimes you just have to accept that, okay, we went for the aggressive stuff, it didn't quite work, and now we're just going to have to draw for one. No stone, no shot available for Italy to make 2 points here, but still pressure shot for Joel. There are 3 Canadian counters lying around.
Già lì, occhio. Se è già lì, dobbiamo tenere la linea.
Linea buona. Vicino, stai sopra.
Linea buona.
Oh boy, this one's got a bit of beans on it. Oh gosh, and that's just going to travel on half a metre too far. Oh, blimey. That's a big steal for Canada. That's at least 3. And they're looking to see, is it even 4? Well, gosh, wasn't expecting that. And second pair of eyes saying it is indeed a huge score of 4 for Canada. I think that surprised everybody. So really from nothing, the risk reward very much in Canada's favour there. That is a huge steal of 4 to Canada in the third end, and that's going to put them, after 3 ends, 4-0 ahead.
Stop.
Yeah. Goodness me, viewers. In fact, it was only, I put only in air quotes there. Was what a huge change of fortune on that last stone there in the third end. As we said, it was a pressure shot for Joel Retornaz. There were those 3 Canadian counters lying around, and Joel's stone just running on just about a stone's width too much. And a huge seal of 3 for Canada, very unexpected. And now we will see the Italians go all out aggressive. They're going to need it. We're looking for good setup play here from Mattia Giovanella. He knows this team very well. He's been their alternate for a long time. I'm sure he'll fit into the team really quickly.
Sembra vicina questa, Okay.
And that's a good start from them. They need to keep steady here, Italy. It's only the third end. They want to work really hard to try to put 2 on the board now. First of the Marsh brothers, this is Daniel, being asked to follow his first stone towards the centre. I'm not sure if he's aiming for a freeze or a guard.
You want to go on that side. I think you're here for wing.
Nicely lined up. I think, yeah, the guard's the better idea because that's still protected by free guard zone. Double guard then is the call for Mattia Giovanella.
Aspetta, linea, aspetta. Linea buona.
I was more leaning on it early. Still obviously adding weight.
Rama adesso se mai. Okay, Rama, okay.
34 on that one and 30 on the first one. I like guard.
Halfway in.
Yeah, so make sure we guard this side of it. I like it first.
Guard.
Let's just make
Here's
sure
an
we guard
interesting
my
call.
side.
Yeah.
Oh, he's changed his mind. It looked like they were thinking about just coming around to the front ring behind those guards just to block that anti-clockwise handle towards the wing. That would have been a really elegant call, but a double guard out in the centre also fine.
We're going to be okay.
Curl, 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 curl. Keep going. Okay.
Good shot, guys.
I like peeling these guards now. If he makes double peel, you got to peel the guards.
Tre quarti.
And we've said this before, haven't we? When you're really needing to play quite aggressively, put up your corner guards, and you need to have good courage, take a deep breath. You know the opposition are going to put 3 guards right in the centre, or 3 stones rather, right in the centre. Big throw from Sebastiano Arman. Not quite getting the double, he was awfully close. our Canadian fans in the chat. It's early still in the morning for Canadian fans, so they being rewarded for getting up early on the weekend. Surprise steal of 3 for Canada in that third end. Joe Retornaz's last stone just drifting on about a stone too far.
Yeah, I think a little bit.
Go down.
Little bit.
Go down. You gotta cross the line.
Good. Whoa.
So we need all our Italian fans. They need your support now.
Sit. Oh. Go. Clean. Sit. Hard.
And this time he's got it. He gets rid of the pair of them, and you can see that red's still out front, but a lot of space now behind it. Colton Flasch recognising that immediately.
Top 12.
And yeah, this is exactly right from Canada. They just want to keep piling stones towards the centre, keep Italy busy there. Don't let Italy bring those corner guards into play.
Little bit.
Line's good.
On sheet 1, they've just finished their third end as well.
Hard line.
Okay, well then.
And as I said, both teams fighting to keep their competition alive. Both teams on 1 win and 2 losses. Bruce Mouat's team from Scotland and Team Ramsfjell from Norway. And the score reflecting that was a 1 to Ramsfjell in the third end, and that makes the score over there on sheet 1 2 each after 3 ends. Schwaller's game still on their third end, so that remains 1 each over there. And Big Eve Stalker's team also having a tough weekend out there. They are 2-1 down to Kyle Waddell's team from Scotland after 3 ends.
Okay.
I think we probably should hit.
Probably should, but
Whatever you like. I'm okay with the draw too.
if he did,
So now Italy do have a counter in the rings, and again Canada needs to decide.
Same shot, and then he's got 2 in here.
There you go.
I think this is okay.
Colton Flasch kindly explaining it for me.
Draws, we're curling hard here.
Okay, let's play this, and if he just knows it, that's fine. Board.
Sure. I think give me a little ice here.
They definitely want to remove this red.
I mean, it's a guess, right?
Steal will be good.
Retornaz's team already qualified for this evening for the quarterfinals. So not a disaster if this game gets away from them, but they will be furious if it does. They would much rather qualify high in the table. Although there could be a bit of a nasty surprise for whichever team finishes top. Guess who is in a decent position to qualify 8th for this evening's quarterfinals? It's Niklas Edin. Team Edin, they are 2nd in the draw shot challenge. So if they win their final game this afternoon, they are playing Marco Hoesli's team. It will be Team Edin who are in prime position with 2 wins and 2 losses and the best draw shot challenge of the contenders. They might sneak in place 8, so whoever's top of the table might regret that one. Nice stones from Canada.
Okay.
That's nice from Amos. Important is we need reds hanging around in front of the house. At the front of the house, rather. Dalto Pro showing support for Amos. Cheering for Italy today. We will definitely see the Italian team again later this evening, that's for sure.
Think like you're throwing a tight guard, because they'll get there easily.
This final round robin for these two groups, and the next round robin for the final two groups. That will decide the order. And it's not as simple as the top two of each group. It's not quite like that. They get ranked 1 to 20, and it's the top 8 from there.
Yeah, you guys are thinking top 12. I'm thinking tight guard.
It could be a nervous wait for a few of the teams out there just now. As we said, Eve Stocker's team, they're in a decent position to still qualify with 2 wins. Ramsfjell's team, they're in a nice position to qualify.
Got a curl.
Nervous afternoon for them watching the next round.
Okay, line, oh,
First throw for Colton Flasch.
line's pretty good.
Fourth thrower and vice skip today for Canada.
Hard, 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 hard.
And that's found a decent spot. It's maybe overcurled just a fraction, but still very helpful there. Still dangerous there.
Velocità 12, magari rimaniamo qua anche. Che comunque dobbiamo giocare 12, 11 e perdere lo shooter.
Good news on sheet 4 if you are one of the Stocker army, and who isn't. Superb shot by Jan Hess at the end to pick up a nice chunky 2, so that means after 4 ends it is Eve Stocker's team 3 points to 2 ahead of Kyle Waddell of Scotland.
Giocato uno prima qua sulla center 12.
That first throw from Colton Flasch then, as we said, just over curling slightly, and Italy thinking they can still get to that red. And hopefully just, again, punch that yellow back a little bit. They don't need to remove this yellow, they just want to punch it behind T. He's not far off. What a delicate shot from Joe Retornaz. Super stuff from him. Gosh, what a penalty for Canada's stone over curling by 1.5 centimetres. After a superb shot from Joel. Italy now lying 2.
Also a little less weight.
Same height. Think about normal.
Normal. If I roll before, I'm just going to go normal this time instead of firm.
And this is what I tell the teams if I'm, not these teams, they have their own coach, but if I'm helping some teams at the club, this is what I tell them. I say you're using 7 stones to set up that final 8th stone that decides the result of the end. So really careful, good work here from Italy. They'll be saying a little prayer that they get a chance at 2 points here. Canada clearing out the open red, hoping to roll into the middle.
Yep! Yep! Whoa! Whoa!
But I still think they're throwing too much weight at that. I think they need to take a bit of weight off, control the curl a bit better. And Italy's plan has worked. They do have an opportunity to score 2 points straight back. That will definitely steady the ship.
Looks like it's going to work, but it doesn't.
Just give me a third try and I'll get it. Got a little further.
So deep breath, Joel. Final shot in this fourth end. Very controlled weight. Let the sweepers take control of it. Clean, clean. That's always a happy sound. Perfect. Great stuff from Italy. Really fighting back immediately after the shock of giving up 3 in that third end. That's a big score of 2 to Italy in the fourth end. And at half-time, that means it is Team Colton Flasch from Canada 3, Team Joel Retornaz from Italy 2.
The hog line, I thought if anything, it was going to miss on the inside. And it just didn't curl from the hog line in. Like I had to curl a centimeter.
We are halfway through our featured game. It is the final round robin for these teams. We have one more round robin still to come this afternoon for the other 2 groups. We started off with 20 teams, 4 teams of 5 groups. No, other way. 4 groups of 5 teams. Team Italy, stalwarts of the European Tour. They are already qualified for quarterfinals. Team Colton Flasch, they are on 1 win, 2 losses, and their draw shot challenge, unfortunately, will not be good enough even if they win this game. They are 19 out of 20 for their draw shot challenge. The Canadian team still falling foul a little bit of overall draw shot challenge in competitions. But an intriguing game we've got going on at half time. It is 3 points to 2 to the Canadians. And it is Canada who now have last stone again. So let's see what Italy do. Do you think they'll be conservative and just try to stop Canada having opportunities, or Italy are a point behind? They have the Olympic champion at mixed doubles in the form of, well, one of them in the form of Amos Mazzana. Not afraid to play towards the centre, try and control that area in front of house. And Mattia Giovanella just overthrowing that slightly, punching that yellow a little bit too far away, but important is he put up a really nice guard right in front of the house. And this weekend we are playing no tick rule, and that means while free guard zone is active, you are not allowed to play a tick shot. If you would accidentally move a stone like that off the line, then the opposition team can put it back. Or they can leave it as it is, actually. If you nudge that stone by mistake and you actually prefer the result, you can also leave it. But yeah, it's a because these big boys were getting so good at the tick shot that the likes of an extra end and so on were over in 3 or 4 stones sometimes. That's more like it, Canada, just that easy weight. Then you've got much more control over the shooter. Oh, I love to see this. Italy going for the really aggressive stone, putting a second guard out front. Italy already qualified this evening, so to some extent they can afford to take risks in this game. And as I said, whoever finishes top of the table might come to regret that, because guess who is knocking on the door of final qualification place? It's Olympic champions Niklas Edin. So just this once, it might be okay to finish maybe 4th or 5th place in the top 8 teams. And you can see that Canada immediately recognising the danger here, seeing what Italy are up to. Italy playing the aggressive stuff here. That not working out for Canada though. They remove one guard, but they accidentally...
That's hard to do.
It is hard to do, yeah, if you tried to do that. I don't think you would have done it. But unlucky redirection for Italy there. Sorry, unlucky redirection for Canada there, and Italy going to replace that guard. I love this call. Italy not scared to force the issue already in this 5th end and saying, right, we are going to force the play towards the centre. We have the Olympic champion in mixed doubles, and we're going to use it.
Okay. Oh, clean. Oh, niente. No, giù. Okay.
Hello to Michael in the chat. We have corrected the spelling for Colton Flash's name. Thank you for that. And yes, indeed, in this no-tick rule, the played stone does get removed, yes. Either way. The Canadian team love doing this. Throwing it as hard as they can, and this time that's a bit more effective for him. Joel acknowledging that was a nice shot there. You could go into the house now. You could persist with a guard in the centre and then think about coming around the clockwise handle later.
No, questo non è male, però la guardia non è che ci aiuta tanto col freeze. Velocità ti piace? 12?
But wanting to punch this yellow through, 12-second stone coming, so that controlled weight, just about hack weight or so, and just punch that yellow through and hopefully roll a little bit behind that cover. Alternatively, you could roll all the way to the other side and keep Canada away from that guard. Big sweep from Mattia. And we've seen the stones do that all weekend, really catch that big curl at the end. And Italy have played that perfectly. Really well controlled, great team shot there. Canada calling roughly the same, hack weight. But that red stone a little bit further buried this time. A little bit trickier for Canada, this stone.
Whoa, curl, curl.
Close.
Clean.
Clean.
Yep.
Whoa.
Whoa, 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 curl, 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 curl. Curl, curl, curl. Good.
And indeed, Canada not quite finding the same curl as Italy, just that little bit extra cover for that red stone, helping them out. And Canada not getting in behind cover. Chance again for Italy.
Sì. Hard. Bomba. Hard per stare. Hard, Mattia. Hard. Niente roll, eh?
Of course, maybe that weight was a little bit too delicate. It's overcurled a little bit, but probably the tolerance for that shot was indeed to roll a little bit further away there. Maybe harder for Canada to get to the inside of that red stone and end up behind cover now. And remember, it's Canada who has last stone now in this fifth end, but not at all interested in building an end here. They do have that guard out front. They could call something more aggressive, but happy to keep things clear in this fifth end. What they might be doing now is counting down the ends a little bit. We play 8 ends here with an extra end if the scores are tied, and Canada would not mind if they can blank this end, hold on to last stone advantage in the sixth end, assume they'll score something, try to force Italy to 1 point in the seventh end, and they will retain the all-important last stone advantage in the eighth end. And I imagine that's why we are seeing the more defensive tactics in this fifth end from Canada. It's exactly because it's the fifth end.
Freeze un po' tirato, eh. Freeze è un po' tirato lì col freeze. 12. Un po' più forte. No, no. Oh. Vamos. Clean. Giù.
First throw for Joe Retornaz in the fifth end. They don't want to let Canada have a blank. They want to try to force Canada to score only 1. And Italy doing really well with finding good rolls from these easy takeouts, slower takeouts. Good news for Bruce Mouat fans. They put a big 2 on the scoreboard in the fourth end on sheet 1, and that means that in the game it's Bruce Mouat from Scotland against Team Ramsfjell from Norway, and it is 4-2 to the Scots. In Yannick Schwaller's game, Schwaller also put up a big 2 in the fourth end, and that means at half-time there, in all-Swiss affair, Yannick Schwaller playing Jan Iseli. It is Schwaller's team who lead 3 points to 2. And a score of 1 point to Kyle Waddell's team from Scotland over on sheet 4, and that means after 5 ends, scores are level against Yves Stocker's team, 3 points each. First throw for Canada. Fourth stones. I reckon we will see something very similar. I do want to just now give credit to Colton Flash's sock game. He's been wearing really excellent socks all weekend. He's got a nice blue pair on today, and I saw him with some nice red socks. Perhaps it was red socks with even a white maple leaf. Very patriotic socks. So yeah, top sock marks to Colton Flasch this weekend.
Gina. Whoa! Giù! Whoa! Whoa! Linea!
So nice tidy finish from Joel Retornaz. That stone over-curling slightly, but no harm done. Forcing Canada to play their final stone. Hoping that maybe they can tempt Canada into hitting and sticking by mistake rather than hitting and rolling. But big weight coming here. No need for that gentle controlled weight anymore. They want to roll this one out. They do. Blank ends then. And as we said, probably Canada aiming for a blank end there. Rather, they want to keep the last stone advantage in the 6th end because we are now starting to run out of ends. If Canada can score something here in the 6th, if they can limit Italy scoring in the 7th, then Canada will be in a really good position going into the 8th end. But plenty of stones still left to come. After the 5th end here in Baden, it is Team Flasch from Canada, 3, Team Retornaz from Italy, 2. We're in the 6th end of our featured game at Baden Masters 2022. We are watching Team Colton Flasch from Canada, and they are currently 1 point ahead of Team Joel Retornaz of Italy. The result not so important today for this round. Team Retornaz already safely into quarterfinals, and Team Colton Flasch, even if they win this game, their draw shot challenge is not strong enough. Their competition will be finished. But they've travelled a long way to play in this competition, Colton Flasch. We really appreciate it. We have 2 teams from North America representing this year. We have Colton Flasch's team in our featured game here, and we've also been watching Team Dropkin from the US, and they have qualified for quarterfinals. And we really appreciate the teams travelling such a long way to play in this competition. And I'm sure they would love to finish their competition with a win over the world bronze medalists, Italy, and Olympic mixed doubles champion, one half of Amos Mazaner.
Still good though. I like it. A little heavy. I got a hair heavy.
Okay, a little bit of room. Line's good.
First of the Marsh brothers,
Line's really good.
it's Daniel.
Close.
His brother Kevin throws second in this team.
Okay, line's good.
Gotta go.
Line's really nice. No bounce on this line, no bounce.
It is still Canada who have last stone in this 6th end. And we know Canada's objectives, we discussed that already. So what's Italy's objective in this 6th end? They don't want to let Canada dictate tactics.
Lo può fare, però magari là si apre un po'.
The big guy coming up for a look himself.
Cosa vediamo la guardia alta? No, su questa.
Almost literally a bird's eye view.
Sicuramente va a aprirla. Non penso vada dentro a giocarci questo.
That nice stone from Mattia Giovanella. Right there on the 4-foot, but that yellow in a dangerous position. While they're having a think about it, that gives us a nice opportunity to say thank you to our sponsors. They really make it possible for all the big teams to come here. It's a very attractive competition for the best teams. The team's really well looked after here. Always a warm welcome in Baden. A nice kickstart to the winter tournament, or the winter season rather. And there's some big prizes available, well worth qualifying for the quarter-finals. If you qualify for quarter-finals this evening, your team will win 1,500 Swiss francs, so well worth qualifying for that. You'll win the cost of your team entry back, and quite a lot extra for the team budget, and that can really fund, say, the next competition. If you're maybe one of the younger teams, not so established yet, that's a big payday. That can really help with competition expenses. And not clear yet who will play in the quarterfinals. We do have several teams qualified already, and it will be the top 8 teams. What happens is these two groups, this is their final round robin, and we have one more round robin session after this one, and then the teams are ranked 1 to 20. It's not so straightforward as the top 2 from each group. Yes, it does quite often work out like that, but the teams will be ranked 1 to 20, and it is the top 8 from there. They will qualify for quarterfinals this evening. That's at 8:30 European time. And I always say, if you want to watch one session of curling at a competition, go for the quarterfinals. You will likely have 4 excellent games all going on at once.
I think honestly one's good right now.
Again, good aggressive stuff here from Italy. Putting up another guard there. A steal for Italy in this end. If they could ever steal a point, that would make the score 3 each. That would be a big shift on the scoreboard at this stage.
Make the double peel. Aim for 2/3. If it curls up, you get it. Yes, outside.
Yeah, in turn, yeah.
Second of the Marsh brothers throwing second stones. It's Kevin being asked to clear the front. They do love to throw them hard, don't they, the Canadians?
Okay, that's fine, Kev.
Picks off one nice and easily. And are Italy going to stick with this aggressive tactic? Yes, they are.
Two-thirds probably almost gets it. Probably hit half.
Sebastiano Armand, he was super sub for the Italian mixed doubles team.
you don't want to hit there is 7/8.
Almost tripped over himself while he was walking his dog. And injured his ankle and couldn't play. And I mean, look at him, he's ginormous, so it must be quite easy to trip over those big long legs. So Sebastiano, he partnered with Stefania Constantini for Italy. And considering that was a new lineup, they kept themselves in the top group. Well done them. We have Matthew in the chat. Hello, Matthew. Everybody welcome here in the virtual club.
Linea buona. 1-2. Solo passare. 1-2. No, 2. 1.
Italy persisting with the aggressive calls in the 6th end. And they just want this stone to catch that big curl at the end. So it does. Not needing the sweepers there, but landing a little bit too close maybe. Colton Flasch having a look at that, and yeah, definitely possible to remove both of these reds now in one stone. Catlin Schnider, third thrower, and holding the brush at skip today. Big throw from him.
Yep. Yep. Whoa. Hard. Whoa. Yep. Yep. Whoa.
And he's done that beautifully. That's how difficult it is at this level. Again, if you were at the club and you called a second guard there are not many people at your club who will just cleanly pick off that double takeout in the centre. If you were at the club, your red stone would be pretty safe in there. But not at this level. No stone safe out there.
Hard. Okay.
But no mistake there from the big guy. Using those big levers to just remove those dangerous Canadian stones. What Italy don't want is that Canada could maybe build a couple of points in this end, put 2 on the scoreboard. It's getting very late in the game to let that happen. So just really neutralising the danger.
Yep. Yep. Hard. Yep. Hard.
Another big throw from Catlin Schnider.
Hard. Hard, 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 hard. Don't roll.
Moving the guard nicely, but that yellow not quite going to hang around. Decision quite straightforward for Italy. Let's just put that guard back. This is really working for them in the 6th end, not allowing Canada at all to build up stones. As we said, it would be nice for Italy if they could even steal this end. But important is that they don't let Canada build up stones in this end. And even if Canada get 1 point here in the 6th end, that's okay for Italy. But they don't want any more than that. It's really too late in the game to give up a 2. Again, if you were at the club And you gave up a 2. Not a disaster, but at this level, that's too much of a gap to grab back in 2 ends normally. Nice stone placement from Italy again. And only 1 shot on the cards for Colton Flasch. He would love to remove everything with this 1 stone. And then they will potentially be able to blank this end again. First throw in the 6th end for Colton Flasch with the correctly spelled name.
Wow! No!
But he stuffed it. That was a bit too straight back, that one. Handing the advantage back to Italy again. Yeah, if you can ever just get to the face of your own red, then what's he doing?
Però magari resti dentro. Se giochi guardia la devi giocare, cioè devi comunque coprire un po' sto lato qua, sennò lui va giù diretto.
Guards the other idea. No question about the line. We're playing towards the centre again. But do we want to try to freeze that red? Or put another guard out front? Depends a little bit what you want to do. Do you want to try to steal this end, or do you want to tempt Canada and try to get them to take 1 point instead?
A me piace qua.
No, che mette un po' di pressure.
Infatti.
Cioè, sarebbe fare lo sgarapon che non ha mai giocato.
No, infatti. Qua.
È vero.
Sì, 4 va anche bene, A me non dispiace.
Sounds like they were discussing the merits of all the different places you could put the stone. Either freeze that red, bump right up to it, or more like a stone in the 8 foot, or even just front of house. So not sure, but definitely covering that line. Final throw for Italian Joel Retornaz.
Forte linea! Forte linea! Lines it up. A bomba, Rama! Solo freeze la guardia se non passa,
Ooh, this has really caught the curl though. They need to be careful here. Ooh. Living a little bit dangerously there, Italy. But that's found a good spot actually. Look, that takes away the angle on the yellow. And there's no double run back. This does force Canada now to play more like a draw, maybe a running draw. Just try to punch that red back a little bit. So not quite what they meant, Italy, but found a pretty nice spot there nonetheless. And well played end from Italy here. Set it up really nicely with Mattia's first 2 stones, and really just kept doing that. Asking the question of Canada. And Canada firing everything they've got at those guards out front, but maybe not completely accurately. Last stone at the 6th end. It is Italy lying 1.
Line's good. Keep it out there if you can. Okay, line's good. Where are we? A little bit of room now.
Running like it's hot.
I must say that as soon as he let that go, I thought, gosh, that looks awfully wide. And That's not going to come anywhere near the red, but is it going to draw just by itself? Has he got the right weight? Joel really putting his back into it. And I think that is a steal for Italy.
Red.
1 red it is. Well played end from Italy. Nice and steady, just asking the question of Canada, and their reward is a steal of 1 red. And that means that after 6 ends in our featured game here in Baden Masters, a 1 to Italy means that in our game between Colt and Flasch of Canada, Joel Retornaz of Italy, it is 3 points each after 6 ends. We are in the 7th end of our featured game at Baden Masters. We are watching our visitors from Canada, Team Colt and Flasch. They are playing big supporters of this competition. They're here every year. Team Joel Retornaz of Italy. A real back and forth game going on here. And that reflected in a score of 3 each after 6 ends. Let's see how everyone else is doing. Over on sheet 1, Mouat's team from Scotland and Team Ramsfjell from Norway. Both of them on 1 win and 2 losses. Both of them needing to win this game to give themselves any chance of qualifying for quarter-finals. There's always 1 or 2 teams manage to grab that last spot in quarter-finals due to good draw shot challenge. So well worth the win for both Mouat and Team Ramsfjell. That's on sheet 1. Over on sheet 3, we have the all-Swiss encounter. It's Schwaller's new lineup. They're playing Jan Iseli's team, and Schwaller's team starting to put the pressure on here. It is 5 points to 2 to Schwaller over Jan Iseli.
No, it's 5-14-7-5.
And over on sheet 4, another really close encounter. It's Kyle Waddell's team from Scotland, looking for their first win here. And they are playing Yves Stocker's team, who are also on 1 win, 2 losses. They are also trying to sneak into that final qualification spot with a good draw shot challenge. The score there is 4 points to 3, Stocker leading Waddell.
It's okay. It's full 4 at least.
We have 2 ends to go in this final round robin match for these teams. We play 8 ends in Baden. If the score is tied after 8 ends, we will play an extra end. And all the teams that want to come on at 4 o'clock, they'll just have to wait.
5. Solo 5. Linea. Oh, giù. Linea buona. Freeze. Linea perfetta. Amos primo.
He's had a pretty bright start as a full-time member of this squad as Mattia Giovanella. The Italians already qualified for quarter-finals this evening. And Mattia Giovanella having an excellent game again today. The long-time alternate for Joel's team. He will be already pretty familiar with how this team plays together. I'm sure they will get off to a real good start with Mattia full-time in the lineup. Simona going in, concentrating on mixed doubles for this season.
Where are we? close. In a room. Can't be heavy on this line. Light close though. Light good. Go ahead. 53. Keep the line, Cam. Keep the line.
Italy sticking with this aggressive style. That brought them a steal of 1 in the 6th end. Especially at this level, it can really feel like so much work to steal 1 point in a game. You feel like you have to throw so many stones so accurately to steal just 1 point, and you do actually, but this is their normality, these guys.
Velocità. You said you were done for 6 regardless. You should have just shook and gave up.
Joel will know what's the best way from here to try to nick this game.
Vogliamo giocare solo qua?
I got the same time.
Lui poi apre. Sì. Possiamo anche giocare solo qua. Lui apre.
Don't have to do anything right now. We have a draw for 2 whenever we want it. Pretty easy draw.
Sì, c'è ancora. Però, secondo me se siamo pieni. Io volevo far tap con questa piena. Sperare che la nostra rossa si allarghi un po' qua. E che questa la porti qua. Questa non andrà mai. Che sì.
Chasing, that's why they're trying to figure out how to set up a steal.
Ok. We step back.
Same end, please, for Italy would do nicely. We have 1 more round before quarterfinals. The quarterfinals are at 8:30 this evening, European time. We have 1 more round for the other 2 groups in the competition. Live cam will be on Brunner, and they will be taking on Whyte of Scotland. So local favourites, Brunner, winners of the competition last year when they played with Schwaller. And big support here in Baden for them. A couple of the guys from Baden club. Last year we even had Papa Käufler brought his Swiss bell, so maybe you will even hear a Swiss bell dinging in the background for good shots. I will be recharging the chat batteries for that one. And then we will be back for the quarterfinals this evening.
I like the peel.
Tomorrow it's semi-finals and finals. The semi-finals are at 9 o'clock in the morning European, and the final at 1:30 European. Similar stuff in this 7th end, exactly what we were watching in the 6th end, and that worked pretty well for Italy, didn't it? And similar objective for Italy here. They don't really mind if Canada gets 1 point here in this 7th end. That's what would happen right now. You can see that yellow just next to Joel's feet. That's the one closest. And it might look like a bit of a strange idea. Why does Italy want to throw a guard for Canada? Ooh. Thank you, sweepers.
We've seen so many in this spot.
A bit of a rolled eye from the sweeping pair there.
That's what I mean.
Just getting it over the line, but yeah, all fine for Italy. If Canada get 1 point in this 7th end, that would make the score 4-3, and Italy would have the all-important last stone advantage in the 8th end. So that's fine for them. That's why, if it seems a bit counterintuitive, Italy guarding all those stones when it's Canada who are nearest the centre, that's why they're doing it. They're tactically really smart, this Italian team. They know exactly what to do at each stage of the game. They will know exactly what they're aiming for with this end.
Hard flash. Hard.
And that's moved things around a bit from Kevin Marsh.
Not bad. Can't make that.
I'm not sure that's quite what they wanted, but
I just gave it too much ice, I think. Like it did
as we said yesterday though, even though statistically the science tells us that it is a 50-50 chance whether you are -1 point with last stone or +1 point without last stone, you have a 50-50 chance of winning the game. Canadian teams simply don't believe the data, and they will do almost anything to have that last stone, and that could be what they're thinking. They might be saying to themselves, let's just give Italy 1 point in this 7th end. Then it will be Italy +1 without last stone, and Canada -1 with last stone, and that could be their objective for this end.
Penso di sì che lo giochi. Resta alto, resta con 2. Per me o dentro o questo non è male, lento. Dodici.
On the left of our screens, you can see the edge of the scoreboard on sheet 1. They're also in their 7th end, and after 6 ends, really tight stuff over there. It's 4 points to 3 to Mouat's team from Scotland.
Whoa.
Both teams need to win that game to stay in this competition.
Yo. 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 Yo.
And there's the scores everywhere else. We can see, as we said, Schwaller's team really starting to put the pressure on Jan Iseli's young team. They're also in their 7th end. They'll be putting up the score for the 6th end shortly. And the most popular man in curling, Yves Stocker. Used to be Jan Hess, was the name of their team. It's Jan Hess that throws 4th, and Yves is a skip. They're just about keeping ahead of Kyle Waddell's team from Scotland. Now, this could be the little chance that Canada were waiting for. If you just catch the edge of that red, you could spring the pair of them. Control throw from Caitlin Schnider.
Yep. Yep.
Angle is critical here.
Yep.
Is this going to catch the big curl at the end, though? Ooh, is that even round the first red?
Oh, yeah. Wow. For sure with that one still. So. Further we go, he's going to hit it, right?
That curl seemed to catch them out a bit. They've been throwing really hard all game, Canada, and just taking a bit of that weight off. And that maybe just catching them out a little bit, over curling more than they thought it would. Same idea for Italy.
Lui ci avrà sempre sulla rossa.
Yep, is also fine.
Velocità 10 11. Oh.
Same idea then for Italy. That nice controlled weight, let the sweepers control it. Look at that for a roll. They've really got the better of Canada at the moment. Italy, Canada, for me, still throwing a bit too much weight at shots and not quite learning the curl of the ice, and Italy getting to grips with the curl a little bit better perhaps than Canada, but I don't want to speak too soon.
Same way.
Look at this, really nice and controlled. And superb roll in behind. All of that mixed doubles experience from Ozana. You don't see so much of the big takeouts in mixed doubles. It's much more these delicate shots, really placing the stones. And the curl catching Canada again. This could be a big opportunity now for Italy. As we said, if Italy could get 1 point here in this 7th end, they could steal 1 point, they would be 4-3 ahead, they would be plus 1 point. But without last stone. And a couple of mistakes from Canada here, and could Italy even steal 2 points here in this 7th end? Clock in the chat asked if I can explain the most popular man in curling, and it's not a jibe, it's not a joke at all. Here in the live stream, if you're watching an Eve Stalker game, come join for heaven's sake, it's great fun. There's very much an army of Stalker fans out there, and they all jump into the chat supporting their favourite team. So yes, it's not a joke, he genuinely is the most popular man in curling. So I'm kind of hoping that they do a bit of magic out there, Eve Stalker's team, and hopefully we can watch them in the quarterfinals. And hopefully the Stalker army will show up in the chat. And meanwhile, we can again say thank you to our sponsors. As we said, well worth qualifying for quarterfinals this evening. All the teams that qualify for quarterfinals, they will win a prize of 1,500 Swiss francs for their team. And that could cover your expenses for a whole competition. Mind you, these boys eat quite a lot. Their food bill must be quite high. Right then, Italy have seen a couple of mistakes from Canada here. They are still lying 2. Attacking the clockwise handle then. No hesitation from Colton Flasch. He thinks there's a double takeout and spinning in. I'm not so sure. Can you really spin up all that way? You can spin towards the centre. I'm not sure you can really get to that red just on the right side of the centre line, but he seems to think you can.
What are you throwing, Flash?
Firm.
Okay.
Let's see.
Hopefully, yeah, if I can hit it thin enough. As long as that red's not in the way.
Yep.
Yep.
Hard!
Hard! Hard! Hard!
Oh! Oh, golly. That's a huge mistake from Canada. Oh, gosh. And, well, I can't blame a slower weight for that. That was nowhere near a slower weight, but, gosh, the curl catching them again. The Marsh brothers doing everything they could to try to hold it straight. But just redirecting off the guard, and, golly, what a chance Italy have now in this 7th end. Italy already qualified for quarterfinals, but they'd be quite happy to bump themselves up the table a little bit. However, I mentioned earlier,
I was in the same boat, right?
normally speaking, you do want to be at the top of the table. You can give yourself a potentially easier clash. Once all the teams are finished, they will be ranked 1 to 20, and Team 1 will play Team 8 in the quarterfinals. Team 2 will play Team 7, etc. But guess who is knocking on the door of that final place? It's the Olympic champions, Edin. Lost their games yesterday, won this morning. Top of the pile of those who might qualify with a draw shot challenge. So if you finish top of the table here, you might just be looking at Edin this evening. But the Italians won't be thinking that far ahead yet. They have already qualified, but they'll be concentrating on this game. They don't want to lose this game. And they've got a huge opportunity here to put big pressure on Canada. And same kind of way he just played, Joel. Well, golly. Italy lying 4. Is there a quadruple take out there?
Oh yeah. This is gonna kick down, but I think it goes. No, I don't.
The Marsh brothers winding up their sweeping arms for this one.
I think it's this one just first. Maybe right in the middle.
Yeah, too hard.
Well, Chief Stuckey here in the technical office, he seems to think it is possible. I think you can get rid of 3, but I don't think you can get rid of 4 here.
Hit it right where I was just about to hit it. This time it'll be so it'll be a little straighter.
Here it comes, viewers.
Whoa.
Whoa! Yep! Yep! Yes!
He's accurate this time. 3 it is, though. 3 go. And once everything stops spraying around, everybody has a look down. And it is a steal of 1 to Italy. Superb end from Italy. Another steal of 1 to them. Superb effort from Colton Flasch, actually. Let's give big credit to that. He was lying 4 against. And he got rid of 3 of them. Ooh. And a stone surprising Grant Hardy over on sheet 1 over there. The Norwegian having a bit of a giggle, but yeah, we do try to avoid that. But super effort from Colton Flasch. There you can see Grant Hardy's already got his eyes on it. And gives a bit of an eye roll. Grant Hardy on your left there with the picture. And here comes a shot coming to skittle him. He's very professional. He doesn't move. Just rolls his eyes a bit. And everybody goes chasing off to pick up all the stones. So a big steal for 1. Also in the 7th end there, Italy. And now we have our 50-50 situation. In our featured game, going into the final end, it is Italy 4, Canada 3. Eighth, and is it going to be final end in this final round robin game for these groups at the Baden Masters 2022? Superb play from Italy in ends 6 and 7, earning them a steal of 1 point in both of those ends. They are now 4-3 ahead. Going into this 8th end, they do not have last stone. It's the classic situation. One team is +1 stone, but without last shot. Sorry, +1 point, but without last shot. And the other team is -1 point and with last shot. Statistically, you have a 50-50 chance of winning from here.
Get an angle, Kev.
And a really huge end for Italy there in that 7th. Even if Canada would make 1 point here in this 8th end, that would take them to an extra end. If scores are tied after 8, we will play an extra end. We need a winner. And it would be Italy who would have last stone in an extra end. So Joel knows that. And again, going straight out with the aggressive stuff that has been just wonderful for them the past couple of ends. Mattia Giovanella having a superb debut in this team. Long-time alternate for this Italian team. And now Simone Gonen, the previous full-time lead player in vice skip. He's focusing a bit on mixed doubles for a while. So Mattia, full-time lead now. And what a bright start he's having. Very difficult to play that shot, viewers. If you're playing lead at the club, never think that it doesn't really matter where your stones go. Look at that. Look at where Mattia Giovanella's stones are and learn from him. He wants one stone nice and close to the house there and the other stone just over the hog line. Make it very difficult for Canada to remove both of those stones in one go. And very difficult to play that second one just over the hog line. If all of the stone is not over all of the line, the stone gets removed, and that would make a huge difference at this stage of a game. So, Senor Giovanella, he has definitely earned his dinner. And the curl catching Canada out. Now, that was a no tick. Or was it a pick? But it ended up ticking. Oh, that's sad. Oh, the Canadians still managing a smile.
They were pretty much the same. Yeah.
So it wasn't the curl that caught them out, I see. Oh, golly, yes. Oh,
that is the pick.
That's really a shame, yeah. That's a pity. Good to see Canada trying to take that in stride.
Yeah.
But indeed, that pick resulted in a tick. And as we said, we're playing no tick rule here. That means you cannot move, even by mistake, you cannot move a stone that is on that centre line. And that's why that stone was replaced. Nothing to do with the pickup, but the pickup redirected that stone into the guard. The guard moved off the centre line, so Italy are entitled to replace that. So that's horrible bad luck for Canada. I hope that doesn't knock their confidence too much, but 1, 2, 3 perfect shots from Italy. Great stuff from Sebastiano Arman. Kevin Marsh, second thrower for Canada, brother of lead thrower Daniel Marsh. Canada will be trying to think of building up to get a 2, but they need to be cognizant they have to get a 1 to keep this game going, and that's not how you're going to do it.
Makes sense. I thought it was a hair heavy.
14:05.
I heard it was a little tight, so. Well, I wasn't really sweeping.
And Italy sensibly ignored that yellow. That's very unlikely to be important later, that yellow. It's behind T already. And Italy wise to keep attacking that centre line.
5. Linea buona. 5. 4, 5. Oh, clean. Oh, 9. Clean. Ah, vicina, vicina. Yep, line. Hard. Hard line. Whoa, 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 lascia d'altra. Lascia l'angolo buono. Bene. Gotta make that double peel. Or you gotta play a tap on this intern.
Over on sheet 1. That stone spraying into their game from our game didn't seem to disrupt Team Mouat too much, I hope. But they anyway ended up scoring 1 point in the 7th end, and that means that it is 5 points to 3 for Team Mouat over Team Ramsfjell. They're in their final end.
Heavy hack if you can.
I think it's just, yeah, probably heavy hack. I hit a corner with heavy hack, not really.
Team Eavestalker. It is 4 points each as they play Team Kyle Waddell. It is Stalker who has last stone. That will be Jan Hess delivering that final stone here in their 8th end.
Oh, clean. Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard. You got it. Go, 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 go.
And I would love it if we can watch their quarter-final later. Have the Stalker army turn up. But first things first. That's nice from Canada. That's what they need to do here in this 8th end. They need to keep stones in play. That big weight's not going to help them this end. They need to keep stones in play. Yannick Schwaller's game on rink 3. They are still in their 7th end. Looks like Benoit Schwartz is winding up his throwing arm for a big hit. I tell you, these boys sometimes come out so fast now with a big hit that they're almost at the hog line. Or rather, they're really flirting with the hog line, having to let it go. Looked like Benoit Schwartz cleared out all the stones with that shot. People scattering in every different direction to pick them all up again. But actually, it looked like that was a steal for Team Iseli. That would be why Benny Schwartz was taking a run at it, trying to limit the damage. And indeed, going into their final end, it's all square. It's Yannick Schwaller against Jan Iseli. It's 5 each.
Se giochi, se sei, esatto, lui ti fa la doppia qua. Giochi qua dietro. C'è la doppia guardia comunque.
Big confab going on in the Italian camp. They don't want Canada to have even a chance at scoring 2. And Canada with last stone in the 6th and 7th end. What was working for Italy was just really placing their aggressive stones better. Not letting Canada have stones lie around or asking the question of Canada. Italy already qualified for this evening, but they will want to finish this game professionally. And that means playing to the last centimetre of the last stone. Canadians still managing to smile. They've had a little bit of bad luck this game as well with that pickup. But that lovely controlled weight from the big guy again. And Canada running out of stones a little bit to do something about this.
Ripped us double. And at least maybe we can score.
At least have it over here, maybe I can use it. Try to make it.
Probably the smartest one is just make this double kill.
I mean, I just don't think you can make what Kevin just made with back line, do you?
Not really.
Even if you pop that to there, it's pretty good.
Like I can hit it, but I don't think I'm pushing the second rock.
No, I agree. Okay, let's just make this, even if you nose into here, it's good. Make some noise. Make some noise with normal.
Through the end.
I know. So I mean,
you can see how nice that
as hard as you can, Callan, with
second stone from Mattia Giovanella is.
Callum can only throw like
all the way
normal
close to
weight
that
right now.
hog line. Colt and Flasch right out in front. Let's just appreciate Colt and Flash's excellent sock game.
Throw the in.
He's been wearing terrific socks all weekend. We love to see that.
Maybe just a sliver,
And this will be
like
our
right on
last
the center
opportunity
line.
at
Yep,
this
that's good,
competition
that's good.
to appreciate his terrific socks.
Try to nose it.
But I think this is wise for Canada. As I said, they would love to try to get 2 here, but they're nowhere near getting 1 at the moment. And I think they need to move a bit of granite here. Italy beautifully set up. Oh, that rather summing up Canada's game, I have to say. And guess what Italy are going to do?
Harder than I thought I was going to.
You threw that one harder, Cat. You threw it too hard.
We're going to put that back, please.
I know, it came out harder than I expected.
Oh, you could see them waiting for it to catch the edge of that red, move the pair of the reds out of the way. And again, who made that possible? It was Mattia Giovanella. So if you play lead at your club, look what a difference you can make in a really important game in the last end.
Linea buona. Linea buona. Solo velocità. Giù, Rama.
A grandstand finish then, all over the ice hole this afternoon. We have one more round eager to come on.
Here's room.
That will be starting, well, it depends. Every one of these could go to an extra end, actually,
Top 4.
except one.
I mean, T-line's okay.
I do think quarterfinals
I mean, they're overbearing.
will be able to set off at 8:30
Yeah, but I don't
European
have room
time.
for 2 if you don't go T-line.
There's a little bit of a gap for the boys to eat something, get some fuel in, have a bit of a rest. And that should be plenty of time for Jamie and the ice crew to prepare the ice for quarterfinals. So 8:30 European time. Make sure you've got that in your diary. Set an alarm for that.
But it's probably that's probably good right now. You like that?
Italy just replacing that lovely long guard. Amos Mazzana this time.
Good, clean.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
Line's good.
Whoa. On the guard. We're on the guard.
On the guard, says Colt and Flasch. Is it going to curl past it? Oh, it's not. Oh dear.
Hard.
That's kind of made everything worse. Goodness me, Canada have
Oh yeah, I was
quite some work to do
13-5, probably through the house.
even to force an extra end now.
È che qua comunque è un punto qua
Italy
che
just
serve.
need to control this.
Lui adesso se noi facciamo qua gioca
A couple of
questo,
nicely placed
se
shots.
però siamo proprio qua. Sì, è vero che non ce n'è tantissimo qua. Ormai dobbiamo
As
giocare
we've said before, you can only ever steal an end if your opposition missed their last stone.
bene sempre su questa.
Your task is to make that last stone as difficult as possible. And golly,
Qua lui torna dentro.
Canada have a howler coming up.
Esatto, qualcosa c'è sempre. Ormai dobbiamo giocare dentro. Andiamo primi e secondi. Fine 8 piedi. Qui abbiamo.
Yeah, I think so. She didn't sweep it.
All the other 3 games also in their 8th end out there.
6 pieno 6.
Yeah, even the clockwise handle there, which Italy are playing. There's not just that much space. We saw Canada's previous stone there, Caitlin Schnider's final throw in this 8th end. Even though it does catch the curl later on, we saw that it didn't quite curl in time to get inside that corner guard. And I wonder if Italy just proposing to block up this clockwise handle completely and force Canada to go for the pin on the anti-clockwise handle.
Stai lì.
They've really got to grips a little bit better though with the curl today. Have Italy. They've been really controlling their stones, giving it to the sweepers, letting the sweepers do their job as well. So not guarding Italy. I'm just going to cover the pin for an encore, says Joel.
I mean, I think he's still going to throw it in here. Hope to nut it or this. If you can nut it on here and get rid of these two, that's good. If you miss it, we're probably dead.
Well, yeah.
What you can't see from this angle, viewers, is there are those two stones really close to the hog line.
So you're going to play it.
And there we are. You can see it on the left of our screen now. Those two stones real close to the hog line there, making life difficult on both handles, really.
Well, it's still though, like,
It'll only be for one.
you got it, like, if you get it here, it's really hard to stick both, like, one of them.
Wowzers, if you're Canada, how are you even trying to give yourself a chance to get 1 point here?
And try to hit it right there and lose that. And then it still opens up this one and it opens up this rock. That's my only worry. Like, this is, even if I make this good and roll
They've come a long way to visit us, Team Flash. We're really appreciative
Well, yeah, you're trying.
them travelling all the way from North America. Let's indeed finish with a flourish, lads. Give it your best shot.
I know, but like it's open, totally open. I don't think I can tap it.
That's really tough last night.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just trying to just hit this. I'm just trying to open up two shots. Right, because even if I peel it, he runs it away. At least I'll have this.
Ooh, it looks like all three games are going to finish their eighth end at exactly the same time. So hang on to your butts, viewers.
Well, if he takes that away, that's gone. Then I can just tap it for one.
There's going to be a lot of excitement in the next 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah, Canada, don't spend too long thinking about this.
Right into here.
It's looking a lot like a lost cause, really.
One under here, since these two are gone, he goes here.
I gotta try to just clip this and then get it over to here.
I always feel like the longer you're discussing, the longer you're thinking,
Close enough where you can actually, you can probably do this.
the more you're losing your rhythm, the more you're losing your momentum.
Okay, I think
Yeah, has nobody thrown a stone yet?
a bit more air.
This is our shot to potentially win. That's the only thing.
And if you nut it on here, honestly, and rolled it there, it's pretty good too.
I can see Canada's problem. There are not too many options for them.
Nice
I gotta hit anywhere from 2/3. Skinny as I can hit is half. Stick it right there.
I guess
2/3.
there's two different shots with two different weights. Like if you're playing a sticky, you probably only throw like normal. But if you're trying to get rid of both of those reds, you throw peel.
I think firm gets rid of both reds still.
Last stone coming on sheet 1 though.
Well, I'm saying nutting it right here.
It is Ramsfjell from Norway. There, you
Even
can
if
just
I-
see it on the
even if
left
I
of your
go like
screen
that,
there.
it's still pretty good though, isn't it?
He does have a stone, a shot to make 2 points and force an extra end. He's got it.
Okay.
You could honestly, what you could do is throw like.
Actually, that was for 3.
And try to stick or board and try to
I
stick.
want to.
Superb shot from Ramsfjell there.
Hack weight, board weight.
Really tight game over on sheet 1, and it is Team Ramsfjell from Norway. They are the
I'm just saying,
ones
pick which one you want to play because that'll tell us.
who end up winners.
I just think playing
And
this
now
one
they
opens
shall
up
have a bit of a
more,
nervous wait,
And if it over curls, great.
while Canada
Well,
are
play it
still having
tight,
a
and then
bit of a
More times than
powwow
not,
out
if
there.
you're on here, you're probably doing this and jab.
I
I
think
can't.
that's so hard to do that. I think we just gotta try to hit stick
Ramsfjell,
there.
Okay.
they're in a
Let's go
good
peel.
I
position
like peel.
with their draw shot challenge. They are currently placed 5th out of the 20 teams, but there are a couple of teams above them who won't need draw shot challenge to qualify. So actually, with that lovely last stone,
2/3.
No,
Team
it's less
Ramsfjell
than
putting
that.
themselves in a superb position to qualify for this
In
evening's
half.
quarter-final.
Okay. Let's aim for half.
How hard are you throwing it?
Just normal peel.
Oh, oh. Right off. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Whoa.
Here it comes.
Whoa. Whoa! Oh.
Good effort from Colton Flasch.
Oh.
Very few options for the Canadians there.
No, perché
Very close.
la rossa non
A lot of Italian stones still lying around here, and one conveniently covering the pin.
Lì restiamo solo davanti alla guardia. A cosa serve una lì per evitare?
Last one coming up on sheet 4. Kyle Waddell's team are lying shots, but Jan Hess has a good look at it.
We hit it and backed it up, and we were like on the third for a little bit.
Controlled weight coming from Jan Hess on sheet 4. They're keeping it clean. Sweeper's pretty happy with it. Yves Stocker pretty happy with it. Lovely controlled shot and a win for Team Stocker. They join the big pile of teams on 2 wins.
4:20.
Final throw of this 8th end for Joel Retornaz. Will it be his final throw of this game?
Devi andare!
Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stones all. Well, one of them isn't quite touching the centre line, but really beautiful play from Italy. The second half of this game. Another nice throw from Joel. Does Canada even have a shot?
Or is it yellow to this side to this side?
You can do that too, yeah.
I think it's yellow into this. Got to just hit a quarter of this.
It's thinner than that. You gotta hit it like.
No, you got to hit this
You gotta
into
get it
it.
going across the face of this one.
I don't know if this one's possible is my only worry. Like you have to hit this, it's got to go, I just don't know.
It's like this one's not as thin as this one. But the only thing is it's coming out of the way. Which hurts.
Valiant
I mean,
fight
they're
here
both
from Canada,
1 in 100.
but also super fight back from the Italians.
Yeah.
Accidentally, really, losing that big 3 in the 3rd end. Joel's final stone just overrunning a little.
Because you gotta hit this one under here and then spin.
Okay, let's throw this one then. I can
think
throw
that
this
one's
one a little
probably more
harder.
makeable.
I can throw the out-turner here harder, so that'll probably help.
Okay.
But Italy
you're hitting-
not
you're hitting a
panicking,
lot of that
really
rock.
picking themselves up and
Pretty much
steadily,
you aim at
steadily
nose and you'll end up hitting like 7, 8
getting
times.
themselves to
7,
this
8 times.
position.
Okay.
Clock suggests a quintuple run back. Yeah, that would do it.
Yeah, back to the one you saw.
I'm not sure I've ever seen one of those, a quintuple run back.
They're all ridiculously hard, so.
He could be going for it. He may as well.
Yeah, just.
I think he might be.
Yep.
Surely the last throw of this game.
No.
He doesn't like it. That's just over curled a bit.
Again, good luck.
And superb play from Italy. After a rocky start, they really stuck to their task
Good game, thanks.
and wound up the pressure in Canada. Great performance from them.
Again, good luck.
We've loved seeing Team Colton Flasch. They've come a long way to play in this competition, and we really appreciate them travelling. Really hope they've enjoyed themselves. We won't see more of Team Flasch in this competition. We will be seeing Team Retornaz again They are the first of the teams to get to 4 wins and 0 losses.
No, we're out.
They'll be pretty happy with their weekend's work so far.
Not going to get us in.
For sure, we will be seeing them in the quarter-final this evening. They will just do now a last stone draw. They won't know who their opposition is yet until the next round is played. And I'm not sure how many Italian counters that was at the end, but Amos just checking with the guys. They're just taking one. That's the elegant thing to do. 1 red scored in the 8th end. Look at that. What a fight back from Italy. Final score. We will see them again this evening, but the final score in our featured game here, it is Italy, Joe Retornaz's team 5, Colton Flasch from Canada 3. Thank you for joining us. Come back at 8:30 for quarter-finals. See you then. People really know it now, huh? You know, people should have more. Also, yeah, a little bit more. I think to start a new competition, it just takes good courage. At the same date, it's also. Ah, is that why? Yeah, I saw more than double prize money than we have. Would all of you please ensure that you go for food? Yes. Before the quarterfinal. Yes. Not right now. I think they're not yet ready. Is it 5:30? Is it? There is another round, but I'm not quite sure when they are starting serving food. Yeah. But after this round, definitely there still should be food. So. Also, Fabian and me will change. We have some. I'm friends with Stocker's team. I'm friends with Stocker's team, so I'm not scared to talk to them. I don't feel shy. Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, if Edin comes in, I will feel shy. But Edin plays now, so they won't be coming in. But I think Edin will still qualify, so if Edin wins here, he's top of the pile for last shot draw. He's very good there. There is one team being better right now, I believe. Craik, the Scottish team, but they play 12 and a half or so. Right. But they both have to play another LSD after this game, so they can still change. Yeah. They play Schnider. That's a nice one actually, Schnider Craik. That's going to be close, I think.